Hello, my name is Dr. Chaitanya and welcome to my new YouTube video. So coming to the practical number 13, that is the systemic pathology of the diseases of the kidney. You are supposed to write down all these things in your practical book and to draw these microscopic figures of the following things in your practical book. So coming to the basics of the kidney, basically there are the two kidneys in our body, and this kidney has one outlet, okay, and also has the inlet. So inlet is coming from the blood and outlet is in the form of urine and also in the form of the vein. So remember that the vein coming from the kidneys directly goes to the inferior vena cava, first thing. Second thing, blood is coming in the kidney is got filtered. Kidney itself can be a capsular organ, okay. So there is xerotas, fascia, and the capsules are there surrounded by some fatty area. Kidney can be divided on the cut section into cortex and the medulla. Inside that there is a, as we all of us know, that there is a glomerular unit, and this glomerular unit connected with each other. There are the 1 million, 4 million glomerular units. This glomerular unit connect with each other and form the collecting duct. This connecting duct forms the pelvis area, and this form the urinary duct, and finally into the ureter. So this is the normal form of the kidney. So while describing the specimen of the kidney, please remember the few things to be specified. First one is the capsule, whether the capsule is intact or not. Second thing is whether the lesion is in which area, whether it is in the cortex area, whether it is in the medullary area, okay. And the third thing is that whether tumor is showing any specific appearance. For example, there is any orange color or yellow color or variegated appearance. So these three things you should remember when defining or talking about the any lesion of the. Coming to the different morphological types of the kidney, kidney can be divided into the infarction of a kidney, large white kidney, small contracted kidney, or flea-bitten kidney. Why I am describing all these things of the morphology, different morphological types of the kidney is very important, because these morphological types can be asked you as a question in the theory. This can be asked you as a MCQ. This can be asked you question in the viva, in the examinations, or this kidney can be asked you as a histomorphological or specimen, that is your specimen in the laboratory. So please remember these all morphological types of the kidney. There are the only 4 types, that is the infarction, large white kidney, small contracted kidney, and flea-bitten kidney. Please remember that all these histomorphological features are very important, because the causes are different in all these 4, okay. So please mug up these causes, or try to remember these at least 3 causes of the each. First thing is the renal infarction, which we learned already in the general pathology. So in general pathology we saw that there is infarction of the kidney. It is shown by the arrow over here. This is formalin fixed preserved kidney. So whenever you saw this specimen in your our laboratory and with the 2 arrows, this is the one way by which you can remember this is the infarction of the kidney, okay. I am not going much in detail, you learn already in general pathology. Coming to the next one is the white kidney. So what is there in the white kidney? Why it is the white and it is enlarged kidney? So these are the causes, that is the diabetic nephropathy, amyloidosis, scleroderma, polycystic diseases, medullary cystic or spongy kidney, and acute glomerulonephritis. So please remember that what is meant by white enlarged kidney. Kidney is enlarged, and basically if you remember the one pathophysiology of the amyloidosis from your general pathology, that in around the glomerular there are the secretion of this proteinous product, okay. There is a secretion of this proteinous product around the glomerulus, so that this glomerulus is compressing, this amyloid is decompressing your normal glomeruli, and now the kidney become pale and waxy, okay. And after deposition of much large forms of the protein, now this kidney will be enlarged, okay. This is the one pathophysiology by which in amyloidosis you can get this white enlarged kidney. Similarly, in all these phases, all these causes, there are the different reasons why this kidney become enlarged, okay. So here you can see that one lesion is present on the upper surface, that is on the cortical area, and this corticomedullary area is not differentiated very well now. So this is the white enlarged kidney, and these are the causes. Please remember these causes. Now coming to the small contracted kidney. So the small contracted kidney is why this much is important, because there are these 3 reasons, okay. because of which your kidney can become a small. Out of this specimen we have in our laboratory, and very easy to remember because there is the only one specimen which is showing the granules on their surface of the kidney, and that is the small contracted kidney. The reason is chronic glomerulonephritis. The another two are the benign nephrosclerosis and the chronic pyelonephritis. I am not going in detail about the pathophysiology, but these two specimens, thank God, we don't have in our laboratory. Coming to the some basic difference between these three, that is the nephrosclerosis, pyelonephritis and the glomerulonephritis. Pyelonephritis means it is due to the bacterial infection. So as it is the acute unilateral, most of the time it is asymmetrical, and out of these three small contracted kidneys, this is the smallest one. Okay, don't go by the pictures, as I took the screenshots and I made some arrangement, that's why it looks smallest, largest, but it is the smallest out of these three. Another thing is the weight, it is 80 to 90 gram, and the irregular scarring on the outer surface. You can see that the scars are irregular so that it become a nodular, but actually it is not nodular, it become nodular because of the scars or the fibrosis from the outside. This is the cut surface. Now coming to the next one is the granular, which is the bilateral, symmetrical, and the weight is around 19 to 100. Again the irregular coarse granules. So important thing is the granules are the coarse. So if you see in the high power, this sorry for the picture which is getting blurred, but these granules are the coarse. Okay, whereas if granules are the fine, then it become a benign nephrosclerosis. So I am not going in detail for the benign nephrosclerosis, please read from the general pathology, but this is the bilateral, symmetrical, and one important thing, it is the largest one amongst the three small contracted kidney. So these are the few morphological types of the kidney and the basic differences. So out of this, only one thing you have, that is the chronic glomerulonephritis. Coming to the last part, that is the flea-bitten kidney. So what is the basic pathology in flea-bitten kidney? There are the small capillaries on the outer surface or on the cortical area of the kidney which get break down and the RBCs will come out. So this is called as the flea bitten. Okay, so flea bitten kidney. If you saw any fruit in the garden which is been bitten by the flea, then you will come to know that comparing to this is called as the flea bitten kidney. So again, there is a petechial hemorrhages on the renal surface and the capillary breakage is the main reason. So these are the causes like HUS, HSP, malignant hypertension, SAB, SLE, then the rapid proliferative glomerulonephritis, TTP, leukemia, and lymphoma. So please try to remember the all morphological types of the kidney and the causes of these morphological features of the kidney. Thank you.